Hey y'all, welcome to Prestige Cash Club. I'm Cece, your savings promoter, and here at the club, we save with pennies and turn our savings into a lifestyle that anyone would want to live. So make sure you follow for more tips and tricks. Y'all, this is the very first time that I have been working myself up to do this budget on camera with you guys. I have had people ask me because you guys have just been currently seeing me cash stuff, but some are like, well, how do you know what you're putting in your envelopes? How do you know what denomination, etc.? And it all starts with this budget. Um, and so today, that's our goal. Our goal is to build our July budget for what is this, week 3? And so, as you guys know, I am a biweekly paid employee. However, I budget each week and I stuff the money each week. So, this is the second half of my July 10th paycheck, and this is for the third week of July, the week of the 17th. So, uh, let's get started. So, here is my planner. Now, if you guys remember, I told you before that I use the Easy Cash biweekly planner from Salisa with Beautifully Me and You. It's a beautiful budget code on Amazon, and you can get this budget. I still come in here and do my monthly breakdown just because I still love this book and I want to continue using it through the end of the month. However, because I've switched to weekly budgeting and cash stuffing, I now needed a weekly sheet. So what I did was basically got my tail on Canva and kind of created my own sheet so that I had a sheet for budgeting each week and a sheet for my cash denominations. So this is going to be for the week of 7/17. Is that 7? Yeah, 19. 19, 7/19. And so usually I do these on Saturdays because I like to stuff my cash on Sundays for the week. And so here for paycheck, it's going to just be the remaining of the money that we're stuffing. So if you were putting your amount here, you would put your paycheck amount. And then what you would do is you would deduct everything from your paycheck amount. Now, I don't write my paycheck amount here because it's just about showing you how you take the money that you have to allocate. And when you're doing like a zero-based budget, it's important that you start with whatever funds that you have coming in. So whether it's your paycheck, if you have a side hustle, if you have, other sources of income like child support or whatever you may have coming in, you want to include those so that you're working with the full money that you're working with. And then you deduct your bills. You have your variable expenses, which is like your groceries, gas. You guys see that in my wallet all the time. You have your sinking funds. And so this is our infamous sinking funds that are in our binders. And then we have our savings challenges. And then as we go through these, we'll show. So let's just hop right in. So as I mentioned, this is the second half, and we're budgeting the remaining of our check, which is $1,025 for the week. So that's what we're going to put here. Now, keep in mind, I've pretty much already paid the bills for the month because what I do, if you guys remember in the monthly budget, I already identify what bills are coming out of which month. And I want to get you to a month that I completed because I am transitioning to my happy planner here, even for my month at a glance. But as you can see, I put all of my events here. I have my date stickers, but I know where each one of my bills are coming from and which check those bills are going to be paid out of. And so when I get paid biweekly, I make sure that those bills are paid. So because July actually has an extra week, we've already paid most of these bills for the month. So our rent, our AT&T bill, our cell phone bill, The only one remaining is our utilities, and our utilities for this month is $168. So we'll make sure to deduct that. Car insurance is already paid. And also, guys, I am a month ahead on all of my bills except utilities. And so a lot of these bills are already paid, which is why we stuff in our bills binder for the next month. So the month that I'm stuffing for right now is September because all of our bills are paid through August 31st. And I'll do a whole separate video on how you can get a month ahead on your bills. But definitely when you have these magic months, we had a magic month in June and July. And sometimes you don't get those, especially back to back often. You use those, in my opinion, and that's how I've done it in the past, to go ahead and get ahead on expenses when you usually have a little extra cash if you had a third pay period in that month. But we'll save that for a later time. My Amex bill is literally due on Tuesday, and that's already been paid. Capital One subscriptions, and then this is our normal. Now, also, if I have any incidental, so like because I don't want to write this in every time, and if I were making this a template for others, this would be specific to you. So a lot of people just leave this blank so you can fill in your bills. But because I made this budget planner and I know that these bills are the ones that I have every single month, I went ahead and put those in so I don't have to rewrite them. However, in this case, y'all, I got a speeding ticket. And it wasn't even a speeding ticket. It was one of those like you sped in this area ticket. They sent me a ticket. It's $35. So, learning from past experience. When I say I was a avid, I'm not paying y'all nothing. And if you are a reckless spender like I was, you don't you're focused on the right now. So in your mind, you're like, I'll deal with it later. Well, later also includes late fees and everything else and phone calls and collections and all of that, right? And that hurts you in the long run. So I saw the bill come in and I'm like, what the heck is this? And so I looked at the address that they said that I sped. And y'all, first of all, I didn't even speed in that area. I know they telling a tale, but of course it's the city, so I can't prove it. But when I looked at the address and when I looked at the location, because I'm like, why the heck would I have been in the city? And I realized it was by the airport. I missed my turn. I went to the next exit, turned around. So in between two lights, they told me that I sped in that little corridor over 30 miles an hour, which I'm like, literally, I'm just missed my part. So I don't know, but I'm not going to even fight it. The ticket is $35. And as annoyed as I am to pay the $35, I am not going to like allow them to give me a late fee. Cause especially with the city, they go from 0 to 10. It's like you pay the fine, or if we gotta charge you, late fee is $100, right? So I'm not giving them $135. And I don't think that I can contest it. I don't know that I have enough evidence to contest it. So I'm just going to give them the $35. So you see this little sinking fund right here that is called Ish Happens. This sinking fund is for stuff like that. So, or if there are like other incidentals, I said all of that just to say in my bills, if there are other incidentals that came up for the month or something that I need to pay, sometimes I'll just cross off one of these items that I'm not going to use and put that amount in there. So if I didn't want to take it out of my sinking fund and I wanted to just allocate it out of my paycheck, I would just cross one of these items off for bill for that pay period. I would, in this example, put the $35 and then just make sure I deduct that even before. That way, if I didn't want to take it out of my sinking fund, I can still make sure that that money is budgeted. But in this example, I am going to take it out of my sinking fund. So we'll leave it there. We do IRS and debt that comes out on the biweekly. So on our pay periods, we take those out unless I'm really trying to push hard for an extra payment, which I am. So for debt, I am going to do an extra payment of $75 for this week. So let's get out our little calculator. So we have 101,000 And let's subtract our 168 and our 75. All right, so we should have $782 remaining. And so this is remaining, and then this little column is how much. So let's do 168 plus 75. And y'all, I round up. I don't do cents and I don't do dollars that much. So an example, if this was 245 and this money needed to go back to the bank, I would just do 245. And whatever buffer would just stay in my account. Okay, so next we're doing our variable spending. And this is where we would, and as you guys know, you all know I have my cash wallet. Actually, this is money that's going to the bank. This was over the weekend, I ordered a DoorDash for a couple of our family members. We actually had a family reunion this weekend, and we kind of did some hanging out. I made a card purchase on my card, but they gave me the cash. So this cash has to go into the bank. So usually I put it in this go deposit folder, but I know that this money is going to go. So I'm going to show you guys so in my bills binder, so an example, I know that I put this on my Amex, and if this bill is not going to be due until August. So I'm going to put, let me get a marker. And this is 20, 40, 60, 81, 1, 2, 3, 4, 105. Okay. Because sometimes when I'm going to reconcile that bill, and what I'll do is if I have incidents like this where I'm putting money aside, because I try to reconcile my cards weekly. So by the time the card is due, all of the money is already in the envelope. So this is how I put my money in there for my bills binder. And so this will already go towards that purchase on that card. So that's how I use that in example. But if it was something that I wanted to go back into my account right away, if it was in this go deposit folder, I also have my cute little purple envelope that I take into the bank. I put all of the go deposit money in here, and then I go into the bank, I deposit the money, and either I'm reimbursing myself or I'm literally taking that money and paying whatever card that needs to be paid. Each week I get 25. Miscellaneous gets 10. Groceries gets 75. Gas gets 50. House stuff gets 25. Nails, I got my nails done last week, so nails is not going to get anything. And beauty is not going to get, oh no, beauty is going to get 75 this week. Eating out is going to get 25. And also house stuff, I use a laundry service, and I allocate 75 to the laundry service. And so eating out gets 25, weekend fun gets 25, and then date night gets 50. So let's add that up. So that should be $435 for our cash wallet. And like an example, this grocery money is already spent. I literally just did a grocery order on Saturday because I had to pick up some stuff for the reunion. And so like this money is already allocated, and it'll go right into our bills binder to pay the card off. And so now we're going to deduct the $435 from the $782. And we have $347 left. Now, this is where I do mine just a little different. I like to go over to my savings because savings is a top priority for me. And so it's important that I do my weeklies and tinies. So my weeklies, my tinies and minis each get $50. So we're gonna subtract. So we got 347 left, right? 347 minus 100. I only stuff our 100 envelopes on the payday weeks. So this will be 0. And then the rest usually goes in my sinking fund or to savings challenges. Y'all, where did all our money go? Is this right? 1,025 minus 245. Yeah, 780 minus 435. Yeah, minus 100. Oh, Lord. See how I just go quick? It just go real quick. All right. So in savings challenges, I want to do 125 in our savings challenges, because savings challenges are important to me because it helps keep it fun for me to do budgeting and savings. And then this money does get allocated to my sinking funds at the end of the month. So I'm going to put 125 in savings challenges. And then they give me 120 left for my sinking funds. So here, what I've done is between all of my binders, I've already listed my sinking funds, and you don't have to fund each sinking fund every pay period. This is why I like to do it weekly, because what I was doing was I was making a decision bi-weekly, but then every week something would change. And so I wanted an opportunity to come back to my budget and focus and prioritize on what was important that week. Because an example, if I was only doing my budget every 2 weeks, and let's just say I said, oh, I'm going to put $50 into travel. But then an example, like this parking ticket situation came up, I would have much rather, if I was dealing with my budget on a weekly basis, I would have said, you know what, I'm only going to put $25 in travel, and I'm going to replenish $25 for my shit happens binder, because I want to replace the money that I'm putting. So that's the only benefit of doing my budget weekly when I'm a bi-weekly paid employee. And so it just allows you to focus on whatever your priorities are that week. Because we know, like, life happens and it changes from week to week. So y'all, I'm big on paying myself. I pay myself every week, okay? Because I go to work every week. I put in the time. And I want to make sure that if I have, this is almost like my personal savings. So she gets $25 every week. Emergency fund and month ahead. Oh, and let's subtract that. Okay. So we're going to do, so month ahead only gets funded on payday weeks. Emergency fund, I'm going to do, let's just do 20. Y'all, this money gonna go so fast. Okay, we got $75. Travel, nothing this week. 6-month insurance always gets a little something. We're gonna do $10. And y'all, you see how like little bits add up? You don't have to do a bunch of stuff. $10, $5 toward, again, 6-month insurance. You'll look up and then you'll have all of that allocated. Because I know that I got a little situation here, I'm gonna put $10 in my shit happens. Car maintenance, I want to do 10 in here. I got $45. So house stuff, we're gonna skip. Birthdays and giving, we're gonna skip. Medical, I want to do $10. Amazon and hobbies, we're gonna skip. IRS, debt, annual, these are our annual subscriptions. Let's do $10 in this one. We're down to 25. Self-care, laundry, mama, daddy, we're going to skip. God, kids, and then we're going to put the last $25 into holidays. And y'all, just like that. Oh, and I forgot to come down here. So we got 100 to 25. This will actually be 0 by the time we get here. So let's tally this up real quick. So that's 25, that's 45. Plus 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, plus 25. So the total is 120. And in this example, we would have had, I'm sorry, I don't want to confuse you. Let me bring this back up. I don't want to confuse you. I did this backwards, but because I like to make sure that my savings is allocated. So we have $347 left. Ideally, you would go here And so we would say 347 minus 120. That would have given us 227 left. We got 100 for our tinies and 125, which, you know, I round up or down. And so minus 125. So it says $2, but also I think I miscalculated this, and this should have been $7.80. So that's what the extra $2 is. And now we have a zero-based budget. And that's it, y'all. That's how we budget our money each week. And we know what we're putting in our sinking funds. So this is the second part of that. And actually, I'm going to pull this out so we know. So how we get our denominations, and this is for week 719, because I'm actually filming this a little late. 1,025. So our categories will be all right, y'all. Woo. We've written down all of the categories that we need our amounts and denominations for. So here we have 168, and that's going to literally be 100, a 50, a 10, a 2 5s. So we'll round it up to 170. Debt, we have 75, and we're going to play in our debt binder. So we want to have some decent change. So let's do, this is 75. So let's do 3 10s, that's 30. And let's do 9 5s. Is that right? Let's see. Yes. All right, CDC. And these are our variable expenses. Let's do 25. Okay, so CDC gets a 20 and a 5. Miscellaneous gets 10. Groceries get 75. Gas gets 50, so that's going to be 2 20s and a 10. House stuff gets 25, that's going to be 1 20 and a 5. Nails gets nothing. Beauty gets 75. Let's do a 50, a 20, and a 5. Eating out gets a 20 and a 5. Weekend fun gets a 20 and a 5. And date night gets 2 20s and a 10. Down here in our sinking funds, CDC gets a 20 and a 5. Emergency will get a 20. These all will get 10s. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Holidays will get 2 10s and a 5. And then our minis will get, and then I like to break these out into 10s and 5s. And let's do 2 10s and 30 5s, which is 6 5s. Lord, same thing. 2 20s, 6 5s. And then our savings challenges, let's do 2 20s. That's 40. Y'all, because I don't have time. Let's do 4 10s. And then 45 divided by 5, 9 5s. All right, let's see if this totals up to our 1,025 on the first time, y'all. And we're going to cross our fingers and hope everything is a math thing. All right, so we got 100. We have 1, 2, 3 50s. And this is $100. 3 50s is $150. We have 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 20s. And 14 times 20 is 280. We have 1, 5, that's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 4 24 10s is $240. And then we have 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 18 plus 12 plus 9 is 29 5s. Times 5 is $145. Y'all, fingers crossed. Let's see. 100 plus 150 plus 280 plus 240 plus 145. Lord, let's try it again. 100 plus 150 plus 280 plus 240 plus 145. Y'all, where did we go wrong? $110 is missing. Oh, I know what I missed. I did not put our laundry. That's $75. So let's do a 50, a 20, and a 5. So minus 75. So then $35. Where are we missing $35 from? $25, 20, 25, 20, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 25. That's right. Our variables, 25, 10, groceries, gas, house stuff. We got the laundry now, 75. We got beauty, 75. Eating out, 50, and date night. And then we got the 2 utilities. What's missing? Okay, y'all. I'm gonna figure it out off camera, but stay tuned. This is right, the reality of a budget. It sometimes your numbers get a little screwy off, and sometimes literally I'm sure I just marked an extra one or didn't count because I'm also trying to keep this video not too long. But this is how I do my budget. Oh, so let me tell you, once I figure out the correct denominations, I take my cute little bank slip, and I use this one from Portia with Hot Beauty Budgets, and you clean this off, and if you're using a permanent marker, literally you just take it, you wipe it off because these are laminated. And let me not make sure I'm shaking y'all instead of wiping off the thing. Literally I do just a little like that, and once I get my denominations, I put them here, and I literally, when I go into the bank, I take this into the bank. The tellers love me because they're like, oh my God, it's so cute. And guess what? They don't have to ask me what my denominations are, or I'm not standing up at the window like, give me 320s, right? That kills me. You stood in line for 15 minutes and you get up there and you still don't know what you want. But I'm not going to even go down that rant. I'm not going to even go down that road. But I put them here. I take this into the bank, and that's literally how I get the denominations that I want to put into my binder. So in case you were ever wondering how I know or how I have the correct change, this is how I know, because I go into the bank, I take my bank slip, and it automatically adds up everything. They love it. They put it in a little card counter, and they give me my money, and I'm literally out of their hair in like 3 minutes flat. Okay, maybe 5 minutes flat. But this is how you do your budget. I hope you found this helpful. Please make sure you're following Prestige Cash Club for more savings tips and tricks.